All right, guys, welcome back to the Knives Fast channel. And while this will not be a completely unbiased video because this is my design, the new Kansept Thunderhead prototype, while it will not be completely unbiased, this is going to be an honest look at the Kansept Thunderhead prototypes. And so let's jump right in. And this is kind of serves for me to give Kansept some feedback. I want to give you guys a look at these right off the bat. Look at that. What a beautiful knife. Now, I will say, please note that there are some scratches in this handle, and that's because on the very first live stream that I showed these on, I dropped it onto my keyboard, onto my back of my laptop, and then it flipped over onto some stuff and got scratched. So that's me. So this is the Kansept Thunderhead. You have a reverse tanto slash sheep's footy kind of design here with some belly. There's your Kansept logo. Let's see. It is well, they don't tell me what steel they made it in, actually. I need to ask that question. So I think we were talking about S90, but I'm not sure that that's what this is, and it's not marked, so I will need to ask them. But we do have weave carbon fiber on this one. You do, of course, have contoured titanium scales. We didn't go with milling on this one. You have the clip mounted in the back, and it is reversible. Kind of a straight clip this time, even though you do have that tip. Now, that tip will turn around on the other side, of course, if you're a lefty. But, it should be good to go. You have a contrasting back spacer there, and just a gorgeous flat ground blade, nice and tall. I went with the longer hole on this one because to me the hole is the main method of deployment, and I wanted to give people, you can see here, that cutout lines up perfectly, a great thumb flick. I love a good thumb flick, and of course the hole is great. Guys, if you haven't heard it yet, that ting is awesome. Now, we did go with a front flipper. This was originally supposed to be a back flipper, but I don't like to have a big flipper sticking out here in the grip, especially, this to me is the premium grip on this knife. Feels great. You do have contouring, and so it feels real good. But when I choke up like this and get up here on this flat, I don't want a flipper tab kind of in my way right here, and we just couldn't quite make that back flipper the way I wanted it. So they said, what if we went with the front flipper? And I said, let's try it. You guys know front flippers aren't really always my thing. See, and I mess it up sometimes, but it is very good. You got to stay back, but you just get used to it. Not a problem whatsoever. And again, flicks really well, nice and thin. And of course, you end up with a great sharpening choil here. Nice access to the lock bar. It is a nested liner lock. You can see there, very, very nice. No liner on the other side and lots of milling. Very great design. Great design. Very great execution of the design by Kansept. It is on bearings with race washers. No issue with lock bar access there, as you can see. We are dead center now. The tip does come out. I am going to ask them if there's any way we can, put another maybe, tiny little bit of edge out there just to kind of get that blade to handle just a tiny bit more. But it's very, very close. And you got that back spacer, so it takes up a lot of the room. It makes it tough. We'll see what I come up with there. Screws, I will say I got to figure out a way to get some flatter head screws here. We'll see what Kansept thinks on that. Very, very much. But everything is done pretty dang well. Now, I will say both of these need a little stronger detent. That'll be kind of one of my call outs to them. You can see we can, okay, we can shake it out with some force. It wasn't that much. The problem is when you're trying to dial it between two methods of deployment, sometimes you got to make it a little bit lighter so they both work well. But I think we could use just a little bit stronger detent. See, that is pretty good on this one, actually. I would say this one's perfect almost. Maybe just tiny bit more strong. That one definitely needs a little bit. But man, what an easy middle finger flick. Very, very good in my opinion. Now we're going to do some comparisons with my other knives. Now let's talk about this clip. I'm not sure this is exactly what I drew. I got to go back and look. It does kind of come up to a poke. Now, the good news is in either grip, it's kind of coming up in the center of my palm, as you can see, okay? So there or there, and it's not really bothering me, but I do think I'm going to ask them to maybe knock that down just a little bit. The back of the clip doesn't really bother me because it's falling at the end of my grip, if you will, especially choked up. It's not even affecting my grip at all. I am going to send these around to some other channels. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to send this one around to some channels here very soon. I just wanted to have both for my review and for some pictures and things like that. And by the way, this is going to be a rambling long video probably, because I don't really have full specs and everything, but we are gonna kind of give you specs. So this is going to be slightly longer than I've done before. It's like right at 8 1/4, maybe just under 8 1/4, 3 inches of cutting edge, 3.5 inch blade, because you got that nice 50-50 choil there. Weight wise, let's try the blue one here. Well, let's tell you what, we're gonna not lazy this. Let's put this guy right here. Are you gonna turn on? Yes, you are. So the blue one, it reset. That was interesting. All right, here we go. The blue one is 4.66 and the other one is 4.62. So they're very close. I personally, we've talked about this, when you go with a little bit of a thicker handle to have that nice rounded contoured, I've learned that you're going to end up with a little bit of weight. To me, that is perfect. It is not a big deal. You may feel differently, and if you do, I totally get it. Now, we're going to do some Tempest comparisons in a minute, but I want to cut. Now, this is my second thing. They need to work. Again, I know this is a prototype to give, a better edge on these when they come. They're good. They're just, I know that they're fairly thin. I just feel like it needs just a little bit, especially this one. Now, that's pretty good, actually. So it's just the blue one. Just a little bit of a better edge on these. So, so far, that's literally, again, there's no side to side, no up and down. I love the lockup on both. They're sitting right at where I like it, like 20 to 25. Very, very nice. Again, great access to the lock bar. So droppy. So droppy. Again, you got to be cognizant of your thumb position, but for me, it's not a problem. I'm coming up in the choil. Very, very good. All right, let's do some Tempest. Well, first of all, let's do our normal channel comparisons, guys. Oh, by the way, handle thickness, I almost forgot this. I believe I remember this at like 0.4847, something like that. So it's not really thick. It's just a big chunk of titanium, but this is a larger knife. So there is your Rat 1. Roughly the same size, maybe slightly bigger for the Rat 1 and quite a bit smaller on the Rat 2. All right, we're going to start with some other Tempest, and then I'm going to go back to the one everyone keeps comparing this to. This is the Fractus, of course. You can see the Fractus is slightly shorter. Here is the Jetstream. And what the heck, we'll move the Fractus and put the Microjet out here so you guys can see all of those that are coming up. And you know what? Even though it's a different brand, we'll show the Kubi Supercell, which is should be out now by the time you see this video, hopefully. And then we'll take that off and we will show you the pinion. Now, everyone keeps saying that this is a premium pinion. Now, it is somewhat the same, but it is quite different in my opinion. You can see here the difference here to me, blade-wise, is this guy is way taller. So if you look at these like this, that's got another half to almost 3/4, probably half an inch of blade, okay? You also have a lot more belly on, it's more of a draw point belly on this guy. And of course, instead of a gradual thumb ramp, you have a abrupt thumb ramp here on this guy. And so I think it's quite different. The handle is quite different as well. You can see this one is way less neutral. Handle-wise, quite different indeed. But people keep saying it. And again, you're going to see my design language in knives that I do for sure. Absolutely. I mean, it wouldn't be my design if you didn't see my design language. So what do you guys think of the Thunderhead? Oh, one more thing. Okay, so in the comments, let's give, Kansept is asking for feedback. So let's give them feedback, guys. What are the, now, again, understand there's things that they can't do or things that materials they may not have access to, but what are the combinations you would like to see? These are just some I threw out for the prototypes. I actually think I really want this one, okay? I really want them to do this one. And I love the blue, but the micarta, to be honest with you, I don't think this micarta, I don't know if it's just a really dry micarta. It feels great, but I just wish it looked a little bit better. It just kind of doesn't pop for me. So I'm definitely looking, and Kansept is for what you guys would like to see in this one for sure. What combinations would you love to see? They do have one prototype that is blackout with an Ultim inlay, and I think that one looks really good. Maybe if I can get a picture of that one, I'll insert it into the video. But there you go, guys. So again, I kind of wanted this to just be my ramblings of my thoughts on this knife. And really, guys, I mean, again, you know, the first thing for me is ergonomics, okay? And I've had people say it looks like the handle is odd. And to me, this grip right here is absolutely fantastic. Now, I will say I do, now that I'm holding it again, I do feel that clip a little, but I definitely wouldn't call it a hot spot. This grip right here is fantastic. And then this grip is really good as well. And that's where I start with all my designs, is on ergonomics. So again, nitpicks, the clip, I just don't want that tip sticking off. Maybe we'll just round that off or flatten it or something. This screw, got to find a way to flatten these screws out. I know they don't, Kansept doesn't like to use flat screws, but these guys are sticking out a little much. So we're going to see what they can do with that. And then just maybe a little stronger detent. Again, we'll send these around. We'll let other channels tell you what they think. Because again, like I said, even if I try to not be biased, it is my design and I'm the one that came up with it. So how can I not be biased a little bit? It's just the way it is. So let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And thank you guys for your support and for watching the Knives Fast channel.